and welcome back to Introduction to Network Security. Today we will discuss intrusion detection systems, commonly known as IDS. In this lecture, we will explore how IDS helps detect suspicious activity in computer networks and complements other security mechanisms like firewalls. And the material for this lecture is based on Chapter 8 of our textbook, Computer Security Principles and Practice by Stelling and Brown. Let's begin. First, let's zoom out for a second. Where does IDS fit into our big picture course syllabus? As you know, in Module 1, we laid the groundwork, security basic terminologies and design principles, and in Modules 2 and 3, we already delved into cryptography, symmetric and asymmetric encryption, hashing, digital signature, and yes, that the math was intense, but you survived. And in Module 4, now we are in security technologies and attacks, and that is how to defend phase. And so far, here's what we have covered in this module. First of all, we had denial of service attacks and how attackers overwhelm systems, and firewalls, the gatekeeper that filters filter traffics. And today, intrusion detection system. It's kind of the watchdog that detects sneaky intruders. So of course, next lecture, we have user authentication, and that's how to prove you are who you say you are online. So IDS is a natural next step after firewalls. So if firewalls, it's kind of bouncers or guards, you can imagine. The IDS is the security camera that spots what the guards miss. So IDS complements firewalls by detecting suspicious behavior that filtering alone may not catch. So here's today's roadmap. First, we will briefly review firewalls, and we have pre-assessment, of course, a discussion, and then we will discuss IDS through an analogy, and next we will examine simple attack detection scenario, and finally we will check our understanding through a short activity or post-assessment. As we understand before, a firewall is a network security mechanism that filters incoming and outgoing traffic, right? And that is, in fact, based on predefined rules. It acts as a gatekeeper between trusted and untrusted networks. And we have different types of firewalls, and there are policies or rules. And that was about the firewalls. Do you have any question remaining in the firewalls content we have discussed last lecture? Any concern? Any problem? Okay. So before we proceed, let's test your firewall knowledge with a quick poll. Click on this. It will take you to the quiz. It's anonymous quiz and graded just to understand or to evaluate your understanding. So I'm not going to open this link just for this demo. I show that I'm using pre-assist. I'm using this to evaluate the understanding of what we have covered before. Okay, that's good. Let's have this quick pre-assessment discussion, like a brainstorm. The first question, what is an intrusion detection system? Any answer? Anyone can answer the question? Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, that's correct. So you can think of it as a monitoring system that watches for suspicious behavior. That's correct. So the next question, what is a flooding attack and what is a denial of service attack? Anyone has an idea? Okay, yes, go ahead, please. Hmm. Great, great, thank you. So a flooding attack sends a very large number of packets to overwhelm a system and often causing what is called denial of service condition or attack. Okay, just for your information, at the end of this lecture, we will conduct a post-assessment activity using Pull Everywhere. It's anonymous and graded quiz or activity just to evaluate your understanding of this lecture. And what are the objectives for this lecture? By the end of this lecture, you should be able to explain basic concept of intrusion detection system or IDS, identify IDS components, and finally analyze a simple IDS detection scenario. Okay, let's have this analogy. In the right side, you have intrusion detection system, and the analogy would be for that with the home security in the left side. Imagine you have a house with the valuable items inside, and to protect it, you install a security system that has cameras and motion detectors. The system monitors for any unusual movements, unauthorized entries, or something suspicious, like someone is trying to enter repeatedly and moving suspiciously from room to room. And if the camera detects, so it sends an alert to your phone so you can take action, like, for example, calling the police. So IDS is similar, but instead of monitoring a home, it monitors computer networks or a system. That's the idea. So if you see here, this network, we have IDS is connected to the switch LAN. The traffic goes through the firewall, and the IDS monitor that traffic if any suspicious activities. That's the idea. Any question in this? It's clear? Okay, that's good. So let's dive more into the IDS. So IDS, as we said, looks for unusual patterns or behavior that might indicate a security threat, such, for example, excessive number of attempts to access system, maybe unusual data transfers, and so on. So when the IDS detects something suspicious, it alerts the network administrator. It says, I need help to protect the network. And that's really help in both external and internal attacks. So as the example we mentioned at the beginning as a question, the attacker tries to flood another computer with a lot of packets. That is called flooding attack. It's kind of flood. And this attack called the denial of service attack, because it makes the service denied by and when it is accessed by legitimate users. They are trying to access it, but because the surface is overwhelmed and busy all the time because of the flood, it cannot serve legitimate users. That's why it's called denial of service. Okay, let's have this scenario. break down a simple scenario. In this picture in the right side, you will see we have this IDS connected to the LAN, and we have network, local area network. There is an attacker. Imagine that an attacker is trying to disrupt the surfaces of a target computer, like um, another computer that's called victim, and that's by sending flood of packets, a lot of packets. And the question here is that why this is a problem if someone is trying to send many packets to another computer. Any thought? Yes, go ahead. Great. Another thought? Any idea? Okay. Yes. Go. That's correct. Correct. You are both correct. Okay. So in fact, if you know, the primary goal of the flooding attack is often to cause a denial of service, as we said. So as the system becomes overwhelmed, or the device becomes overwhelmed with handling the incoming flood that is coming from the attacker, it becomes less responsive or even completely unresponsive to legitimate users. So this disrupts the service provided by the victim, which can be particularly damaging if the victim is, for example, hosting critical services like e-commerce platform, banking service, emergency communication system. Imagine that you are trying to access your bank account, but because the server that has the bank account or that should serve you is busy with other things, unnecessary things, the server will not be able to serve you. That's why you will get delayed to access your service or your bank account. So in this case, the action um, is done by IDS, like as we said, the guard monitoring all packets sent and received by the network. So it captures each packet and check who is sending that packet and how many packets each sender is sending. After analyzing this, the IDS, if the IDS notices that the attacker is sending an excessive number of packets to the victim, it recognizes this as suspicious behavior. And of course, we need here a threshold, right? The IDS has a predefined threshold, like limit how many packets can be sent by one sender in a short time, for example. If the attacker's packet count exceeds that threshold, the IDS raises an alarm, notify the network administrator of the potential attack. That's the idea. So as a summary, the IDS is trying to monitor and track how many packets sent by each device in the network. And if it notices that a device or an attacker is trying to send more than the predefined threshold in a short amount of time, it will send an alarm, or it will raise an alarm or send an alert notifying the administrator that there is a potential attack from a device in the network. Any question so far? Okay, that's good. Awesome. So let's see how much you have learned in this lecture. Please grab your phone and participate anonymously in this poll everywhere activity. It's an anonymous activity. It's ungraded. Don't worry. Just try your best to answer it. You will see questions popped up one by one, and we will discuss the answers as we move forward. For this demo, I'm not going to click this. It's a poll everywhere. It's a known platform where we can assess and vote on the answers and see what's the percentage of the correct answer to the uncorrected or wrong answers. So as a summary, the takeaways here, the key takeaway is that the IDS is your 24/7, and that is called 24/7 watchdog. It doesn't block attacks, as we said, but shouts, "Hey, look here, there is an attack," so the administrator can act accordingly. And this is, in fact, there is an important information here. It detects only, it doesn't prevent. There is another device is called prevention, intrusion prevention system that can prevent the attack. But in IDS, the difference is that IDS just detect, cannot prevent, and send an alert to the administrator. Okay, what is next in the lab? In fact, as you may know, security concepts become clearer when we build and test them ourselves, hands-on. So in the lab, you will discover how Python and Scapy can be used to build a simple IDS that detects packet floods. The scenario that we have discussed today will be implemented in the lab. You will implement it yourself. And it's kind of a simple IDS in Python. Yes, you can do it. It's not that hard. It's easy. And think of it as building your own security camera. It's cool, right? So the lab manual explaining the code is already provided in the platform. You can see it there. You can download it. You can read it before the lab so that it will be easy for you to navigate and do the code in the do the coding in the lab. And finally, we will play with Snort. And Snort is industry standard IDS. We will install it. We will configure it as a real IDS system. Okay, that's it for today. Any question, any concern, anything is not clear out of this lecture? Okay, go ahead, please. Yeah, yeah, we will discuss it that in the lab, of course. Thank you for attention. If no more questions, thank you. Feel free to leave. And if you have more questions and you would like to discuss it with me, just catch me out in the after the class, or you can come to the office in the office hour. We will discuss whatever you want. Okay, see you next lecture. Bye. Bye for now.